Hello. So we are solving blind 75 sheet of this driver. So here's the next question from that is contains duplicate. So the question is so much straightforward. The question is saying that if basically we have given an array and if the numbers are repeated, basically if any number have a duplicate number in the array, we have to just return the true. Like in this example, simply one is repeated, basically one is two times, then we have to simply return true because the element 1 occurs at 0 1 3. And in this example number 2, no element is repeated or contains duplicate, we have to simply return false. So the question is so much straightforward, we can simply jump to the solution. I don't need to explain much. Okay, so next first approach that we are going to use it using brute force, that is simply using two loops and checking the condition. Okay, simply we will use two loops, okay, one another, and then simply we will check the condition, and I have provided here the code. So let's check how this is working. First we will calculate the n, that is size of the array, and simply we are iterating through first element. We are using two loops. For first element we will check for every j, if the number are equals, then simply we will return true and break this loop. And if the whole array traversed, okay, if the whole two indexes, basically I reaches the last point, last index, simply it, though no number contains any, this condition is not existed. Okay, so we will simply return false. Okay, so this is the brute force approach. You can just, it is so simple, so I don't have to run it. Okay, so this is the code for the brute force. And so obvious this time complexity of this approach is big of n square. Okay, so we can simply minimize it. Okay, we can minimize this. Okay, so how will gonna minimize this? So the next approach we are going to see is that we can simply sort this and then compare the number with the previous one. Okay, so the next approach is same. Okay, so the next approach is sorting approach, in which we will sort the array. Okay, we will sort the array and we will check every time if the previous number is equal to the main number on the index, on the number which the index is. So we will simply, if the number is equal, then we will simply return true. Okay, I will provide you the code for it, and let's dry run it. Okay, let's take the example from here, this array. Let's take this array and paste it. Let's see how this is working. Okay, first we will sort it. Okay, sort it. So the new array will be like this: 1 comma 1 2 comma 3. Okay, so this is be like the new array. Okay, after sorting, simply we will iterate through simply this int I will check if I will be from 1. Okay, let's just iterate. Okay, let's make it big, and simply if I write here, this is I. Okay, so if we move I, okay, I would be here initially, it is I equals to 1, and it will simply move further. Okay, if this number equals to this previous one, what I have written, nums I equal to nums I minus 1, that is from previous one, it's simply equal, it will simply return true from that, and it will simply exit the loop. And if not, if it traverse whole through at the end, it will simply return false. Okay, so this is the approach. And what is the time complexity is their approach? Simply big of n log n. Why n log n? Because n is for the iteration and log n is for the sorting. Okay, and the space complexity is simply big of 1. Okay, so we are not using any extra space. So this is basically, we are changing the inputs, okay, we can simply do better. Okay, we can simply do better by minimizing this by not changing the inputs. Okay, we can simply give output from that input that we have given. Okay, we can use sorting, we can use set instead of sorting. Okay, so the next approach contains set. Okay, what we will do is we will use a set in which we will put the numbers. So this is the example. I have taken this array. Okay, simply we will iterate through the array. Okay, this is at first index, this will be simply we will first check if, let's check if the number present in the set. Okay, for set we will simply write set dot count. Okay, count, that is nums of I. Okay, if this number present, it will simply give true or false. Okay, if this number present, then it will simply, what it will do is it will simply return true, and then we have to simply return true because the number was always previously present. Okay, the number was present. And if there is no number, basically there is then no duplicate. Okay, basically set contains only only unique numbers. Okay, so simply it will check if the set contains number or not. Simply if we iterate through this array, what will happen is it will simply check for I 1. Okay, at the 1, if is 1 present in the set, no, then it will simply push this one here. Okay, if not, then it will simply insert this one in here and then move further. Okay, I will be here. Okay, so it will check if is 2 there. No, 2 is not there. It will simply insert 2. Then again it will move further. Okay, and it will check is 3 there. No, 3 is also not there. You simply write 3. Okay, then simply it will check, it will move further. It will simply again check is there 1. Yes, it is 1 is there, so it will simply return true. Okay, so let's complete it. Okay, if not present, then simply insert the number, okay, and simply this whole thing will be in loop. Okay, this whole thing would be in a loop. If I write here that for int I equals to 0 to n, okay, n minus 1, simply the whole thing would be in loop and here. Okay, so this is the third approach that we are using, and simply its time complexity is big of n and space complexity is big of n. Okay, so this is the method that we are, this is basically the best approach that we are going to use. Okay, so here's the approaches that I have told you. There are 3 approaches. There can be multiple approaches. We can also use map instead of set, that is basically same, and I will provide you the code in LeetCode and in GitHub also. Okay, so here's the code for this question. That is, I've provided the both code, that is for sort and the unordered set. Okay, I have provided the brute force code in the that Excalibur. For sort, I have just sorted the array. Okay, let me comment this comment out. Okay, and let us comment this. Okay, first I will run both code. Then simply we will first sort it, and then we simply iterate it through starting from 1, and we will simply check if nums I equals to nums I minus 1. We are checking for the duplicate condition. If the number is duplicated, we will simply return true, and if not, then we will simply iterate through whole array and return false. Okay, so the next approach, I can even run it, it's fine. Okay, so here's the it gives whole. Okay, so the next approach is this using set. That is the basically best approach. Okay, let me just this. Okay, so let's just comment out this. Okay, so this is basically we are using a set, initializing a set, that is name is set, and for we are simply iterating through the set of iterating through the array, and we are simply check if the number is present in the set or not. If the number is present, it will simply give return, it will this count function will return true, and we will simply return true from the loop. And if it is not present, then we will simply insert the number in set, and if there is no duplicate, it will simply iterate through whole array, and at the last it will return false. We can simply run it also. So this was the whole code, and so here